Today I'll be reviewing just about every active skirt that I could find to see who makes the best one. We have affordable brands, we have high-end brands, everything from Alo Yoga, Lululemon, to Amazon, Halara. We have extended size ranges, multiple length options. As a pickleball girly, I do wear active skirts and dresses quite a bit. This would be a helpful video to see who makes the best one. Everyone's going to have their own preferences on what actually makes it the best. So I'll say what my favorite is at the end, but as always, I'll be giving all of the details on length, inner short inseam, if they have pockets, if there are multiple length options, if the waistband is seamless, adjustable, if it's flowy, more slim fit, all of the details. If you're new here, my name is Kathryn. I do a lot of activewear reviews, and I like doing these big compilation videos of as many brands that I can find. We've already done a video comparing a bunch of different active dresses. If you're curious about that, I will leave that linked down below. I'm torn whether to call this an active skirt review, active skort review. It seems that some people don't know what the word skort means. It's really just a combination of the word skirt and shorts. All of these active skirts slash skorts today do have built-in shorts underneath them. They wouldn't be very active if it didn't. And I think we have like 15 skirts to try today. So we better get started. I asked what skirts you guys wanted to see on Instagram and definitely got a lot of repeat requests. This video was getting pretty long, so there are a couple brands where I didn't try the Target All in Motion. I didn't end up trying Airy, I was going to, and I didn't try Viore. Those were some requested ones that maybe we will do a part 2 at some point, but we have a lot to get through. We are going to start it out with the Alo Yoga Grand Slam tennis skirt. This is definitely one that I felt was super highly requested. I feel like Alo Yoga is getting really big, and whenever I've tried them, I really just haven't loved their fabrics, their designs. I just feel like it's very overpriced. We'll see how this is. It is a super cute skirt. I got a size small, which is where they placed me in their size chart. Mostly everything today I got a small. I did get 1 or 2 mediums as well. And this was $88, so it's definitely up there in terms of the price. First of all, we have a legging style double thickness waistband. This is made of their Airlift fabric, so it's a sleek performance up here. There's no top band. And then we have this lightweight pleated skirt with a bonded edge at the bottom. So you have a ton of like little tiny pleats. I also saw that the size range for this one is extra small to large. And I was just a little bit surprised that this doesn't go any higher than a large. Like not even an extra large. I just felt like that was weird. And at the end of each item, I'll be putting a bunch of descriptors, but this one lists the skirt length for every single size, which I felt was really helpful. And for the small, it lists about 13 to 14 inches for the skirt, I should say. The back has the Alo Yoga logo, and the skirt kind of comes in a little bit around the back here to kind of contour a little. We have inner shorts, which feel very lightweight. No front seam on the inner shorts, which I'm kind of surprised because all of their leggings have front seams. We do have 2 side pockets, and the inner short inseam is only 2.6 inches, which is definitely pretty short. I definitely have thicker thighs for my size, so I tend to eat a 2.6 inch inseam right up. So we'll see how this goes. Here's a close-up of that waistband fabric and pleated skirt. We have the first skirt on, and before we get into the try-ons, let me just go over a few things that I personally look for in an active skirt. First of all, I do like the skirt to be longer than the shorts underneath it. I don't like to see those shorts peeking out. I just feel like it makes it look a little bit too short. I like the skirt to at least cover the bulk of my thighs here. So I like it to go right about there, or at least, you know, have the illusion of going there. It's just a personal preference. I like to cover that little area of my thighs. I just feel like it looks most flattering on me. I like a waistband that doesn't cut in. Again, slightly long enough. I am 5'9". Things tend to be a little bit shorter on me. I prefer my skirts to have a little bit of flow to them just so they're not clinging to my butt, any weird areas. I don't like them like clinging to my body. And I tend to prefer a legging style waistband, but as long as the waistband isn't cutting into me or gaping, I'm fine with it. Without further ado, here is the Alo Skort. This is actually fitting really well. I definitely would say that this one is true to size. The waistband is holding me in, but it's not too compressive anywhere. I think it's a little bit shiny, but I don't think it looks weird in this situation. I think if I had a legging that was this shiny, I might not like it, but as a skirt, I think it's okay. Love that we don't have any top band there. It is a high rise. It's going all the way over my belly button. I think the pleats are so cute on this skirt. It just makes it a little bit preppy, but it's still very movable and functional, so I like that. This is definitely a short skirt though. They definitely said that on the website too, that this is very mini. You can see in the back, it is just barely covering my butt. And that's another thing about active skirts. They need to have a little bit more length in the back, because any horizontal protrusion of your body, a little glute, is going to bring the skirt up. So we can see that this looks quite short in the back. And when I lean over, honestly, the shorts are so short, you don't see it too much. So it doesn't bother me too much, but for me, this one's a little bit short. Would I still wear this one? Yes, but I'd prefer it to be a little bit longer. I would wonder how these pleats hold up over time in the wash. So if anyone has tried this before, definitely comment down below. And then we have the inner shorts. So the inseam on these inner shorts is super short that I'm definitely gonna get rolling. Maybe a 3 or 3.5 inch inseam to totally prevent that rolling. We have no front seam here. On the thighs, they're actually not sausaging my thighs too much. Appreciate that. And then we have the 2 side pockets. I'd say overall compression on the inside is a light to medium. I'm not feeling super compressed. And a little twirl to show the movement. And someone also wanted me to put like a tennis ball or something to see if that would fit under any of these. But I don't have a tennis ball, but I might have a pickleball. So let me go grab one. Also, please ignore this giant bug bite that's somewhere on my leg. Right there. I didn't think Arizona really had mosquitoes. Turns out we do. I will have to now have some sort of bug repellent on when I sit outside. But anyways, there's no official tennis ball pocket here. You could put the ball in one of those pockets there, but since this skirt isn't like super voluminous, you're definitely gonna see that. So it does fit in that pocket. It is stretchy enough, but I have a friend who plays tennis and she says that they just like pop them right underneath the shorts there. So you definitely can put it in your shorts. They are stretchy enough for that. Next, we're moving on to another brand that is definitely popular for active skirts and dresses, which is POPFLEX. I believe the first skirt they made, which is the POPFLEX Twirl Skort. I got a size small. This one's $54. I definitely would still say it's a higher price point, but not as much as the Aloe. This one also has a legging style waistband with a double thickness fabric and no top band. This one has a circle skirt, said to have a lot of movement. You'll see it's called the Twirl Skort, so you can twirl around in it. The fabric is a soft brushed material, but it's still lightweight. And then we have the inner shorts with no front seam, 2 side pockets. The inner short inseam is 2.5 inches, so again, pretty short. This looked longer than the other ones. This just proves you can't trust anything that anyone says. I just don't understand. They said that the inner inseam on these is 2.5 inches, and I'm literally measuring. An inseam is from the center of the gusset to the edge of the inner short, and this is like a 4.5 inch inseam. How do you say that it's only 2.5 inches? I need to double check that. It literally says right here that it's a 2.5 inch inseam. POPFLEX, if you're watching, maybe correct that on the website because that's not right, and that's just confusing and misleading. Anyways, I'm not mad about having a longer inseam. That's actually really great news. I guess I will also double check all of the skirt lengths because we can't trust what people are saying. And for the skirt length, I'm measuring just a little bit over 14 inches. This could vary between sizes though. Let's try this on. Here is this skirt, and I will say this fabric is definitely different from any of the other fabrics today. It's a super soft brushed fabric, definitely the softest material, but it's still not too heavy. It still maintains a lot of flow. So definitely a big fan of this fabric. I feel like this skirt is super high rise just because the rise goes up so much, but then the skirt is so short. I feel like the balance is a little bit weird there. Like I can still fold this over a good inch and have it be covering my belly button. I would consider this like an ultra high rise. The double thickness waistband is super comfortable. It's really not compressing me at all. Say if you're in between sizes, you could really go either way, maybe even size down. The skirt, like I said, is a circle skirt, so it has a lot of movement to it. You can see when I move around. I love how flowy this is. The inside, we showed that this was actually a 4-inch inseam, so you can see compared to those Aloe ones, these are not immediately rolling up on me. If I do too much movement in these, they will probably roll, but generally with active skirts, I'm doing walks, pickleball, things like that, and I don't experience a whole lot of rolling there. Not getting any cutting in on the thighs either. We have those 2 side pockets, but the length on these, POPFLEX definitely likes a really short skirt to the point where you can see the shorts pretty easily when you bend over. And I actually know a lot of people like this look, so I'm just saying me personally, it's not what I like, but this may be something that you look for in a skirt. For me, you see a lot of short as soon as you lean over. I really wish that POPFLEX would come out with more lengths of their skirts because I really love the flow of this one, but you can see it's not really covering to the length that I want it to in the front. And in terms of the tennis ball situation, honestly in the size small, I don't really feel super pressed. I definitely have plenty of room to tuck it under the shorts there, and the pocket is also very spacious as well. well. So you would be able to fit one in the side. I love the idea of this one. I think it's super fun, flirty, cute. I just wish it was a little bit longer. Okay, I'm just popping in because I feel like the more I look at this skirt, the more I like the length. Let me know what you guys think. Is this too short? Is this good? I feel like it's actually fine. Next, we have a very popular POPFLEX skort. This is the Pirouette skort, and Taylor Swift was recently seen wearing this skort. I did already do a little post on that, went kind of viral, which is just super exciting because I had actually ordered this for the video, and then like a couple days after I saw her wearing it, I was like, how perfect. I'm a huge Swiftie, so that was a good moment for me. I ordered this in a small and a medium. I felt like it was really short in the small. I'm hoping to get a little bit of extra length out of that medium and see if it's maybe doable to size up. This one is $60, and this is definitely a very unique active skirt. So first of all, we have a legging style waistband with no top band again. More of a performance material up here, so it's a little bit more sleek to the touch. We have a drawstring that goes along the middle of the waistband, and I like when it's in the middle instead of the top. It doesn't cut in and give you that kind of muffin top, but it also makes it a little bit adjustable. We also have this two-tiered layer of this lightweight see-through mesh material, which is just super girly and fun. And then we have the inner shorts, no front seam. This one is listed as a 4-inch inseam, and it is a 4-inch inseam. And then we have the side pockets again. Let's try this on, and then I will also do a side-by-side comparison of the small versus the medium, just to see how much extra length we get, how the fit is, etc. The Pirouette skort. This is actually medium, so this is my size up. I wanted to try this one to see if it would give me a little bit more length, and maybe it does. I don't know. I think I'd probably keep this size just because it doesn't feel too big, and if I do get a little bit of extra length, that's nice. Anyways, the rise on this one, similar to the Twirl skort, definitely an ultra high. It goes well above the belly button, and I just really like the waistband on this one, how if you had a drawstring at the top here, everything would just kind of cut in and be very unflattering, but having that drawstring in the middle of the waistband here makes it so that you can tighten it and you're still not getting that kind of muffin top effect. It's nice to have a little bit of adjustability to the waistband. I know these are not going to slide down. The fabric and the look of this skirt is just so unlike everything else, and in a world where all the activewear can kind of blend together sometimes, it's really nice to see something a little bit cute and different. I love the little pleated details of this. This is a fine stretchy mesh. It's very comfortable. I would worry a little bit about this snagging on things, so be aware of that. Anyways, looking at the inside, we have no front seam, 4-inch inseam on the shorts. We do have the side pockets, and you can see on this one where the length becomes a bit of an issue if you don't like to see the shorts. Just standing straight up, you can see the inner short underneath the skirt. I just wish that the skirt was longer than that because I don't like to see that much short, and you can see bending over, you see so much short because the shorts are 4-inch inseam, which are hitting me pretty low, but the skirt is not quite long enough, and I wish the skirt dipped down in the back just a little bit more. Inner shorts, definitely thick thigh friendly. I'm not getting too much compression there. And let's try the, I keep saying tennis ball. This isn't even a pickleball. This is like, I don't know, but it's a little bit tighter of a fit just because this fabric is a little bit more compressive. This is a sleek performance, but we are getting it to fit there. And then underneath, it's just a little bit tighter there, but it does fit. Personally, I don't find it comfortable to do that in like any of these skirts, but I know some of you guys like to do that. And this one's also super flowy. And here's the small. I definitely think it fits a little bit better in the waist. Neither of them are very tight on the waist. I get a little bit more compression in the thighs, but still nothing that's too crazy. But I definitely think that this one is a little bit shorter. So I think I'm gonna stick with a medium just for the length. Next, let's move on to some more affordable brands. We're going to start out with Halara. And Halara definitely made some of the best affordable active dresses in my active dress review. What's great about them is that they're affordable. Never trust their website prices because they'll say a skirt is like $50 and then by the time you check out, it's like $20. So I would never buy anything from Halara unless it's like majorly on sale because they're just one of those websites that is always on sale, which is kind of annoying, but at least they're affordable. Anyways, they have skirts for around $30, maybe less. They do have a large size range, which can be uncommon to find for a more affordable brand. And a lot of their skirts come in 2 different lengths. You'll see in this video that there are only a handful of brands that are coming out with longer skirts. And as a tall girly, I do find it hard to find skirts that actually cover my butt and just give me the length that I want. I really don't like when skirts show the inner shorts underneath it. I just don't like that look. Anyways, Halara did give me a discount code. I have Kathryn20 for 20% off regular items, or H10YT for $10 off orders over $100. I'll list all of that down below. This video is not sponsored by them, but I did reach out because they have given me discount codes in the past. So I figured it always helps to get a little bit of extra off for you guys. This is the everyday Softlyzero tennis skort. This one was $29.95 last time I checked on the website. Again, sometimes I click on them and they're like $20, and I did get a size small. This one comes in sizes extra small to 4XL. This skirt specifically does not come in multiple lengths. This fabric is a lightweight sleek performance material, very sweat wicking. We have a double thickness legging style waistband here, and I don't love the waistband on this one because there is an elastic at the top of the band here. Because this one doesn't run super small, this wasn't cutting into me or anything, but it's not as seamless as some of the other skirts we've tried. I wish it was a little bit better there. This does have a circle type skirt shape, so very flowy. We do have a front seam on those inner shorts, as well as 2 side pockets. The inner short inseam is only 2 inches, so it is a little bit shorter on this one. And overall skirt length is 14 inches, which tends to be kind of like a standard length. Let's try this one on. Here is the Halara skirt. I feel like when it's on, it looks nice, but there's definitely a couple features that I just feel like make it feel a little bit cheaper. And by a couple, it's really just the waistband. I really hate to have that elastic in the waistband. It's just a really cheap way of doing things, and their other waistbands aren't like this, so I'm not a big fan of this one for that reason. But you can see it's not cutting into my waist. It still just bothers me that it's there, so it's less than ideal. This one does just have a regular straight across waistband. The skirt has quite a few little rufflies in it, not actual ruffles, but because this is basically a circle skirt as well, you have a lot of flow, a lot of movement, which I like. It is definitely a little bit on the short side. Prefer if it was maybe just an inch longer. Overall, true to size. If you're in between, you can really go either way. Here are those inner shorts. They're not necessarily rolling yet, but they definitely are a little bit shorter than I prefer. They're not squishing into the thighs though. Really none of the front seams today bother me. They're just, if that tends to be something you look for. For me, a front seam is more of an aesthetic thing. I don't like when you can see it, but since these are skirts, you're not actually seeing it. We have those 2 side pockets here. In the back is just straight across, and you're not really seeing a lot of short leaning over because the shorts are shorter. Again, I would just prefer it to be just the tiniest bit longer. This material is sleek performance, but it's more on the lightweight stretchy side. So overall, I'm not feeling super compressed. You can definitely fit one of the balls in the pockets here, as well as underneath, again, because it's just not the most compressive fabric, which is nice. It's also very lightweight. Like this one, it's an affordable option. I think I would prefer to go with one of the other Halara skirts though, just because the waistbands feel a little bit nicer quality. The rise on this one, it's definitely still a high rise, but it's not quite as high as some of those POPFLEX ones. It hits just a little bit above the smallest point of my waist. We're gonna do a couple Halara skirts just because I have a few of them, but this is the Halara Softlyzero Airy crossover skirt. They have very long names and it's hard to repeat it all. Anyways, I got this one in a size small long. This does come in a longer length. And again, it's not like crazy long. Like when I say we want like longer skirts, longer dresses, it's not that I need something like to the knees. It's just, I don't want to be showing my butt, you know? So this one only comes in size extra small to 3X, but it does come in regular and long for all of those. This is made of that same Softlyzero fabric, so it's a lightweight, sleek performance. This one does have that legging style waistband, and it is a crossover waist as well, with a slight dip down in the front. There's no elastics at the top of this one, so I definitely like this waistband better. We do have a little opening of the fabric on the side here, just a little overlay, and I'd say this one is a little bit less circle-y skirt than the last one. No front seam on the inner pocket shorts, 2 side pockets. The inner short inseam on this one is 4 inches, and I'm measuring about 15 inches for the skirt on this one. Since the waistband does dip down, maybe I'll measure it in the back. I'm getting 17 inches on the skirt from the back. As you can see, it dips down a little bit lower in the back just because your glutes kind of lift up any skirt. In the front, I was getting about 15 inches. We'll compare this to the length of the other one. Next, we have the Softlyzero crossover skirt in the regular length. This is that same skirt we just tried, except regular length, so we can really compare all of those lengths. All the other features are the same. It looks like the inseam is just a tiny bit longer. I'm getting about a 3.5 inch inseam on these. It looks like this one is about 1.5 inches shorter than the long version, so we will definitely do a side by side of these. regular length of that same skirt. You can see the details are basically the same. We still have that cross waist. It might hit just a little bit lower. Maybe it's about the same. That nice sleek fabric. We have that little tulip detail at the side, and it definitely dips down a little bit in the back, but not nearly as much. We're still not really showing any short underneath though. That's nice that it still has that back coverage without being super long. If you don't want that long length, we have that crossover waist, which is nice, and it is a true crossover waist. Everything else fits exactly the same on these. It has all of the same features. It has still the same amount of flowiness to it. Let me know what you guys think, which length you prefer, either on me or in general. But I don't know, the more I do this video, the more that the shorter lengths are growing on me. Who knows what I think anymore. Okay, here's the long version. At first I put it on and I was like, oh, I don't think it's that long. Then you look in the back, it really dips down. I'm still figuring out how I feel about it. At least I know we're fully covered, like not seeing anything when you lean over. That's nice. First of all, definitely feeling true to size. I like the crossover waistband. We don't have any elastics or seams in it, and it gives a little extra shape to the waist as well. I'm sure they have straight across ones now that don't have that elastic in it. The one I got just happened to have that. Anyways, this is a lightweight sleek performance fabric, and there's a little front section and a little back section, and they kind of come up in a little tulip shape on the side. Gives it a little bit of extra flow. I do like the flowiness of this one. It's not as circly as the last one, but it still has enough movement for me. I would consider this one high rise. It's just a little bit above the belly button. It does come up a little bit more on the sides and the back though. The inner short inseam is a good length for me. Definitely also thick thigh friendly. A little bit more snug on the thigh here than some of them, but it's not cutting in. I like the side pockets. And we have the back here. Lots of coverage back here. Keep in mind, I am 5'9". I don't think this one looks weirdly long on me. It's just definitely longer than a lot of the other ones, but it's nice to have the multiple length options. I'll also try on the shorter one, but we can see the shorter one does dip down in the back a little bit as well. Little twirl test of this one, still a lot of movement. And one other thing about this one is that the hem is just a raw cut edge. There's no seams or anything, but this fabric does not seem to be fraying or anything like that. I would definitely say this is my top choice for the Halara skirts. I think it's affordable. It's cute. Let's do the tennis ball check. The pocket is a little bit more snug on this one. You can definitely get it in there, but it's a little bit more snug. And the bottom, again, the thigh on this one is a little bit more compressive than some of the other ones. We can fit it in there, but it's a little bit snug. Next, we are moving on to the Lululemon Align High Rise Skirt. I believe this is pretty new that Lululemon has come out with this, but they made their Align dress maybe like 2 years ago. And now we have the Align skirt. I got a size 4. I'm kind of between 4 and 6 in Lululemon, but I worry in the 6 that the waistband would gape, which does tend to happen, so I got the 4. And this one is $78, so definitely on the high end of the price range. I was only able to get this one in black, unfortunately. I don't love to review black because it's a little bit hard to see on camera. But we have their Align fabric, which is their Nulu material. It's lightweight, soft, brushed, not as soft as it used to be though. We have a double thickness waistband with no top band. It seems like it's going to be not a super flowy skort. We have that Lululemon logo in the back. We have the inner shorts with 2 side pockets. We do have a front seam, and they also listed all of the skirt lengths for us. In the 4 to 6 range, the skirt length is 14 inches, and it listed the inner short inseam as 3 inches, which I did confirm. Let's try it on. This one is definitely a little bit more slim fitting than I would like. Got a size 4 in this. Again, I'm usually between a 4 and a 6. That if I got the 6, it would definitely gape in the waist, and I definitely think that's true. This waistband is fitting me really well in the 4, but we do have some other more snug areas. This is one reason why I don't love Lululemon, is that I am really between the 4 and the 6 with them, and neither of them really fit me that well. Everything is a compromise. That on top of high prices and front seams, I just tend to not shop from the brand. Guys, here is the skirt. The length feels shorter than some of the other ones, even though it says it's 14 inches, which is kind of the regular length, but maybe because it's a little bit more slim fitting, it doesn't feel as long. I have that double thickness waistband with no top band. The waistband fits really nice, offers a little bit of compression, but not too snug. The fabric is nice and stretchy. This is not the most flowy fabric though. It's probably the most similar to the POPFLEX Twirl Skort, but that one had a lot more skirt to work with. Showing the front here, the inseam is a little bit short. I still would say that I'm not getting too much compression on the thighs. It's definitely more snug than some of the other ones, but it's not cutting in. The front seam though is giving me a little bit of camel, so I'm not a big fan of that. Again, I don't mind a front seam unless it causes problems. This one is a little bit uncomfortable. We do have those side pockets there. They're kind of shorter side pockets. I wonder if they would even fit my phone. They can't even fit a full phone. All the other ones so far have been pretty deep. This one is not super deep. And here's the back, and you can see here that the back kind of lifts up because of my glutes, so it's not really any longer in the back than it is in the front. And I'm getting a little bit of a weird fabric situation just because the whole thing is a little bit too snug on the hip area for me. That's the reason why I like skirts with a little bit more flow, because this could actually like ride up a little bit throughout my workout, my walk, whatever. If you're looking for a slimmer skirt, this definitely is one. We definitely will see those inner shorts underneath. It's pretty short. Overall, I just feel like this one is not my personal style. You can see really no flow to it, but it is definitely comfortable. It's even less of a flare though than the Align dress. I have the Align dress as well. That one came out just a little bit more. Even compared to that, this one is very, very slim. This one is a little bit more snug. So let's see, we can get the ball in there, even though it's snug. So far, everything has been able to fit. Another highly requested Lululemon skirt was the Court Rival skirt. And this one did come in a long length. So that's what I have here. Again, I got a size 4 and this was $88. That's the most expensive one yet. I just think that's so crazy. Pretty good size range. This one is 0 to 20. Honestly, hate any brand that does numbered sizing. I don't know what it means. I've never understood numbered sizing. I feel like when brands come in like extra small to extra large, I always fit into like a small, maybe sometimes a medium. But when it comes in 0 to 4, I am never the same size, like in anything. And it's just so confusing. Anyways, they listed the lengths for us again. It says the 4 to 6 is only 15 inches. I feel like this looks longer, and that's not very long. If the regular Align skirt was 14 inches, I'm actually getting 16 inches for the length of the skirt. Again, you can't always trust the website because it said it would only be 15 inches. The inner inseam, I am getting a 4-inch. This one's a little bit different than a lot of the other skirts today. First, we have an elastic waistband. So it's not like a legging style waistband that's a double thickness of the fabric. It's actually an elastic, which can be a hit or miss for me. It really has to fit you really well or else it cuts in or it gapes very easily. I hope this works. The skirt itself has this cute little like flouncy layer on the outside, kind of like a dual layer situation, and seems to have a lot of movement to it, very lightweight. And then we have some more fun features on the inside. There is a front seam and there's a dual entry pocket. You can put your phone in on the top or you can put like a tennis ball in on the bottom. And it looks like there's a mesh lining in this as well. And they have those on both sides. And then the inside of the short inseam has a little non-slip silicone lining so that the shorts stay in place. Here's the up close of that. You can see those little silicone droplets there. This seems like it could have a lot of nice features. Let's try it on. This is definitely feeling like more of an active skirt, but still very feminine. First of all, the rise, definitely more of a mid to high rise. We are showing belly button here. This is the lowest we've gone today. And I don't mind it. This is a size 4. And I definitely think if I sized up to a 6, my waistband would be gaping because it's not super snug on me right now. So that's kind of the risk of having this elastic waist. This is not super tight, but the thigh area is definitely cutting in down here. This is my issue with Lululemon. The waists are too big, thighs are too small. This elastic is a little bit on the shiny side. It doesn't really bother me. It's just a different feature. And then we have that kind of doubled layered skirt here that kind of peeks out on the side. Definitely lots of movement in this one. It's also very lightweight. And then we go to the inner shorts. We can definitely see some pretty serious squishing of my thighs here. So I'd say it's not the most thick thigh friendly. I'm not really getting any rolling. I think that silicone lining is doing a good job there. And the length. This is a longer skirt. So when I lean over in the back, it's fully covering those inner shorts. And you can just see from the front, it's going like almost mid-thigh. Not only was this a longer skirt to begin with, but the waist is lower. So everything is just more down there. Really nice that they have those multiple length options. And then the front seam is causing me a little bit of discomfort here. So that could be an issue. But then we have these dual entry pockets, and I'm curious how these work. They said that you can put a phone in here. If we look at the pocket on the side, you can enter from the bottom and the top, but if you put something in the top pocket, it does not come out the bottom. You still have access. This goes over top of what's in the top pocket. I wouldn't put a tennis ball at the same time as the phone, but you can also use this as a tennis ball pocket. And it actually is a pretty good fit for the tennis ball, I will say. Even though these shorts are pretty snug, I don't think I'll be able to get the ball under this little seam down here, but there you can definitely put one in. Definitely fits the tennis ball. I think this is a great skirt for the activity that it's made for, which is tennis. I think personally I'd like just like a little bit of a higher rise, but I think this one's cute, lightweight, and definitely really nice. This one I feel like has some features that make it worth the money, where the Align one was a little bit more basic and kind of hard to justify the price. Next, we are moving on to some more affordable options. We have 3 Amazon options. The first one is from the brand BALEAF. And this is their pleated tennis skirt. I got a size small and it was $29.99. The front is very sleek and plain, and then the back has that pleated detail. I have seen this in some other brands. I guess this is kind of like a tennis skirt thing. I don't really play tennis, I don't know, but I think it's cute. We do have that legging style waistband. This one does have a top band, but it also has an inner drawstring. It is adjustable on the inside. There's also a zippered pocket on the top of the waistband in the back. It's made of a lightweight sleek performance material. The inner shorts are a lightweight mesh. We do have a front seam as well as 2 side pockets, and like the Lululemon one, we do have that non-slip silicone lining around the inside of those shorts. The skirt length in this one is 14 inches and the inner inseam is 3 inches. Here we are with the first affordable skirt. First of all, this one, it does have a band at the top, but it's not super snugly fitting. I definitely am getting some extra room in the waist here. This would be an opportunity to tie that little loop drawstring if I really had any idea how to tie these. They always confuse me. I'm just gonna kind of loop it in there. That's definitely a little bit better. Nice to have the option of the drawstring at least. This is all a more lightweight material, a little bit sleek performance. I feel like this little top area is poking out a little bit here, so that's not my favorite. Length from the front is good. It does kind of tulip around the side a little bit and give a little bit of extra length in the back, but you will see a little bit of those shorts, and you have the little pleats in the back for a little extra movement. We have that zip pocket as well in the back. I just feel like this waistband is a little bit saggy. You can see just like some extra fabric there that I'm not getting in some of the other ones. Overall, I would say this is a little bit more of a slim fitting skirt. You can see not a ton of movement there. Inner shorts, again, I don't really love this material for an inner short. It just kind of is snug along the thighs and then really no hold anywhere else. We do have that front seam. We have the side pockets, and this does have that little silicone lining down there. I would still say that these are thick thigh friendly. I'm not getting a ton of compression there. It's just whenever you have that silicone lining, everything's a little bit more snug. The rise on these is a high as well. So I would say mostly true to size, but if you're in between, I would size down just because I'm not getting a ton of compression in the waistband here. The top material is more of a classic sleek performance, but the actual skirt material and the pleats are made of almost like a more stiff windbreaker type material. You can kind of see the way that the skirt wrinkles there. And lastly, you could fit a ball underneath here just because this area is not super compressive, or you could put one in the pocket. I don't know if this little ball test is helpful, but I hope it is, because personally I just don't put my tennis balls there. Next, we have 2 skirts from CRZ Yoga, and these are definitely similar to some Lululemon skirts. I forget exactly the one that this looks like, but this definitely looks like one I saw on Lulu's website. This is the high-waisted 3-pocket A-line skirt. I got a size small and it was $35. We have a sleek performance material, double thickness waistband. There is a top band, but like the BALEAF one, we also have that inner loop drawstring. The skirt itself is a little bit more lightweight of a material, kind of A-line, minimally flowy skirt with a 3-tier detail. We have a zippered pocket in the back of the waistband again. The inner shorts are that same sleek performance material as the top. We do have a front seam. We have 2 side pockets. They did list the different skirt inseam lengths on this one, and it looks like for a size small, we have about a 13.5-inch inseam. A little bit shorter than some of them because it seems like the standard is 14 inches. And we have that silicone stick detail on the inside of the shorts. Let's try it on. I'm a bit nervous for the medium that I got in a CRZ Yoga skirt because this is the small and I have a lot of room in the waist back here. Anyways, we're gonna give this one about a mid to high rise. It's a little bit higher than the Lululemon Court Rival skirt. And again, this is definitely more of a slim fitting skirt. Very little flow to it. It just kind of barely skims my body here, but it doesn't kind of cling to my body in the same ways that the Lululemon Align skirt did because this fabric just kind of glides over the skin a little bit more easily. The top is a sleek performance, and we do have one of those adjustable drawstring waists. We'll tighten that up here. And again, that definitely helps with the waistband space, but you still can see that it's just a little bit too much fabric up here. I'd say if you're in between sizes, I would size down. Definitely a shorter skirt length, again, I feel like when the skirts don't have a lot of flow to them, they just look a lot shorter. If you lean over, you will see some short down there. I just don't think this is my favorite shape of skirt. I just like a little bit more movement. The inner shorts are definitely fitting well. We do have that silicone lining, which is nice. We have the 2 side pockets. We can definitely fit a ball in here and under here. The front seam is not cutting in any way. I think I would like the style of this one if it was just a little bit longer and if the waistband was more snug, because the rest of it, like, it definitely is skimming over my glutes pretty closely. Like, I couldn't size down anymore, but the waistband area is big. Last Amazon option, this is the CRZ Yoga pleated skirt. This one definitely reminds me of the Alo Yoga one. Honestly, the fabrics feel very similar. We have a double thickness legging style waistband here. We have a more lightweight, flowy pleated detail. The skirt kind of dips down a little bit in the back as well. We have that CRZ Yoga logo. I did get this one in a medium just because I wanted to try a medium, see if it would be a little bit longer. We have a front seam, and then on the right pocket, we have like more of a phone pocket. And then the left side has more of a tennis ball shaped pocket here. So I'll show you how that works. You just kind of slide your tennis ball right in. This is different than the Alo Yoga skirt. It did not have that little tennis ball pocket. And this one also has the silicone lining detail on the inside of the shorts, which Alo Yoga also did not have. The skirt length on this one is listed as 14 inches and about a 2.5 inch inseam on the shorts. Let's try it on. I was nervous to try this one because the last CRZ skirt was just okay, but this one is so nice. Everything is good about this one. First of all, this is a medium and honestly not huge. Like, the waist could be a little bit more compressive, sure, but I'm not getting any gaping anywhere. I'd say this one is true to size. I probably could wear the small, but size up if you're in between. Very similar to Alo, we have that slightly shinier fabric on the waistband here. There's no top band or anything, so it sits like a normal legging waistband, and it's a high rise covering the belly button. Tons of flow and movement in the skirt with these pleats. So girly and fun. Definitely short still. This is a 14-inch skirt, pretty similar, and it doesn't look to be any longer in the back. You will show some shorts here, but it's not the worst we've seen. I still think this is wearable for me. This outer material is very lightweight, very breathable. Then we have the inner shorts made of that same sleek performance as the waistband, and it's not super compressive, so I'm not getting a lot of cutting in on the thighs, which is nice. But a nice feature that we have is that silicone lining so the shorts don't ride up. This is not a feature I look for in a lot of gym shorts, but for something like this where I'm doing mostly like walking around, where I'm more worried about the shorts riding up than rolling up, I do like this. Front seam is really not causing me any issues. And we have a regular phone pocket on the right. It looks a little bit small, so let's test it. It mostly fits my phone. A little bit poking out there, not too much. And then the left side, we actually have that tennis ball pocket. It enters from the bottom. You just kind of slide your tennis ball underneath there, and then you can easily pop it out. I think that's a nice feature. It feels better than putting it in the other pockets for me. For how much more affordable this one is than the Alo skirt, I honestly didn't realize they would be this similar, but I like the extra features that this skirt has. It's definitely a top pick for me. All right, the last brand that has multiple length options that we are reviewing is Athleta. This is the Athleta Salutation Stash High Rise Skort in the 16.5-inch inseam version. They have all of theirs not listed as like short, regular, long, but listed as the inseam length. I think they had like some 12-inch inseams, maybe like some super short. They had some 14s all the way up to like 18 plus. They had a ton of inseam options. This one I felt like was a taller inseam, but it doesn't look like too long. We have their classic Salutation Stash waistband here, which is kind of a more stiff but still soft waistband. So it's a double thickness, but it's actually kind of bonded together to create a little bit of extra support. The material is a softer, more brushed material. It's a little bit heavier than some of the more lightweight performance materials. We actually have outer pockets on this skirt. That's kind of crazy. I didn't realize that. I wonder how much this is going to like weigh down the skirt, but they do have outer pockets. And then on the inside, the inner shorts have side pockets as well. We have a front seam. The inner shorts, I'm measuring a 5-inch inseam, which is definitely the longest inner short inseam we've seen so far. This skirt is $79, definitely on the higher end price point. Let's try it on. Here's a skirt, and this reminds me of another issue that I often have with Athleta, is that the waistbands always gape on me. I don't know what it is about like traditional athletic clothing. The thighs are snug and the waist is loose. And by traditional athletic clothing, I mean like the brands like Lululemon, Athleta, they just really don't fit me. Here we see this skirt is super long, like literally mid-thigh. So for anyone really looking for a longer skirt, this is the one. That same soft brush fabric that's a little bit more similar to the POPFLEX Twirl Skort, but it's even more dense and more thick for a lot of high impact activity. If you are playing tennis or pickleball in this, running in this, it might be a little bit too hot. Just keep that in mind, you know, true to size for thighs. High rise covering the belly button here. The waistband would be nice and compressive. It was more true to size for me. And the skirt doesn't have a ton of flow to it. Definitely more of a slim fitting skirt. I find it really unique. This one has outer pockets. I think it looks a little bit more sleek when you put your things on the inner pockets, but if you're someone who really likes pockets, this is the first skirt I've ever seen that has pockets like these, and this fabric is structured enough that it is holding it up very well. Since this is a little bit of a slimmer fit, I do feel like it kind of does that thing that the Align skirt did, lipping of the fabric at the top here. Just keep that in mind. Definitely good coverage in the back. We're not going to show the shorts, but even if we do show the shorts, these are a 5-inch inseam. They're nice and long. No lining on the inside of these, but because the inseam is longer, they're just going to stay down better. 2 side pockets, plenty of space for the tennis ball. Again, I know this is not a tennis ball, I'm just saying. Or if you want to put it in that outside pocket too, that is definitely easy access. We do have a front seam on that inner short, and I would say that these are thick thigh friendly. They're a little bit more compressive, but they're not digging in. I'd say for my purposes, this is not what I'm looking for, but I think this could be a cute like golf skirt if you're into golfing. Next, I have the Athleta Ace high rise 15.5-inch tennis skort. This is definitely one of their longer ones as well. Again, not crazy long. We have a more lightweight, sleek performance material. It's cool to the touch, a lot more breathable than the last one. We have a double thickness waistband with a top band, no drawstring. There is a zippered pocket in the back. We have the inner shorts here with a front seam, and we do have these side pockets, a 4-inch inseam, and then these shorts actually do have a full silicone lining on the inside of the inseam there to prevent the shorts from moving around. I guess I forget how big Athleta runs. Like, this is not normal for sizing. My thighs are like pretty squished down here. Like, I don't think I could size down, and I have so much room in the waist. Like, this is actually so much space. I really don't understand. I know I have like a little bit of a smaller waist than like hip discrepancy than some brands can accommodate, but usually with activewear being so stretchy, it's not a problem. Anyways, that is a little bit annoying. We'll review the skirt otherwise. First of all, we do have a little bit of a top band up here, so there is a little stitch along the top band of the waist, but there is no drawstring like the Amazon skirts. Those had a little bit of room in the waist, but the drawstring helped. We don't have any drawstring here. This is a little bit more of a flowy skirt. We have some more movement. The material is more of a lightweight, sleek performance. The hem is just a raw cut edge. Fabric does not fray. A little bit of a seam detail on the side, and definitely a longer skirt. Not quite as long as the other skirt, but definitely good coverage. And if you do see the tiniest bit of short underneath, it's because the inner shorts are pretty long. They don't need to be quite that long. And I like that the silicone on these is just a solid band instead of the little dots. That really just helps it stay put, but it looks like they skip the silicone on the pocket area. We do have those side pockets, and they are pretty long, so definitely gonna fit a full phone in there. I would say a little bit of compression in the thighs, not the most thick thigh friendly. The rise is definitely high above the belly button. It's really hard for me to advise on sizing on this one because it does not fit me very well. So I'd say this kind of skirt really only works well if you have a larger waist and smaller thighs, not smaller waist and larger thighs like me. And then we do have that zip pocket in the back. I don't use this zip pocket too much. I prefer to use the ones on the inner shorts, but we still have that there as an option. I would love to know who in the comments do you find if Athleta fits you well? Do other brands not fit you as well? I would love to know, just because I don't normally struggle with this in most brands that I try. All right, and the pocket situation, can definitely fit a ball in this pocket. It's gonna be a little bit more snug to get it on underneath this short just because of that silicone lining there, but that's definitely an option. And the last brand, I'm starting to think we may have done a few too many skirts here, but we have Old Navy. I actually ordered 2 skirts from Old Navy, and only one of them ever shipped. The other one, it said it was delayed, but it's been like 3 weeks now, and it hasn't even shipped, so we're just not including it in the review. This is the Old Navy extra high-waisted Powersoft skort. I got a size small. This one was only $17.49. Old Navy, kind of like Halara, never buy it full price. They're always going to have you add it to the cart and then have magically usually like 30 to 50% off. This is made of their Powersoft material. Honestly, I love that Old Navy has the size range that they do, the length options and everything like that for most of their items, but I was a little disappointed to see that the skirts didn't come in multiple lengths when they have bodysuits, leggings, like every single one of their leggings comes in 3 lengths. Their bodysuits, I tried a couple jumpsuits for my jumpsuit video. The jumpsuits came in multiple lengths, so I was a little upset to see that these skirts only came in 1 length because I feel like they should come in multiple. Isn't that right, Peach? Again, their Powersoft fabric. Oh. Peach has trouble climbing on this couch, but she loves to climb on couches, but the velvet just doesn't really work with her claws. So try not to slip on me, okay? Hey, what are you doing? If you told me a fabric was called Powersoft, I would think that it's a soft brushed material, but this is actually a sleek performance. Anyways, double thickness waistband with a top band. Kind of a shorter waistband here, but this one is said to have about an inch higher rise than the regular Powersoft skirt. It also looked just a little bit longer, so I was interested to try that. Looks like not the flowiest skirt. Inner shorts have 2 pockets. We have a 4-inch inseam for the inner shorts, and the skirt length is 15 inches. So that's actually a little bit, ow, 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 ow. Peach! She just like completely scratched my back. Thanks so much, Peach. You can't walk on this. I know, this is not a good place for you to be. It's not a good place. Let's try it on. This one is an inch longer compared to most of the shorter skirts. It is a high rise. It goes right to the belly button. The waist is a little bit big on me, just a little bit. I think it would still stay up and it doesn't gape too much, but definitely runs a little bit larger in the waist. We do have a small elastic at the top of the waistband. Again, not my favorite thing, but because it's not too snug, it's not cutting in. This is definitely a sleek performance material, a little bit on the shiny side. You can see it lifts up just a little bit in the back there. We also have this little tiny slit on the side. Leaning over, you do see maybe a tiny bit of short, but really not too bad. I'd say that the length overall is pretty good. Inner shorts, we do have that front seam, and we actually only have 1 side pocket. It's on this side. It's pretty wide. Definitely room to put a ball in here. It's actually pretty snug. It's pushing it. It's definitely a little bit snug in there. I would say overall these are thick thigh friendly. I'm definitely getting some compression on these inner shorts, but nothing cutting into the thigh area. We don't have any of that silicone lining either. Sometimes those little silicone things can make it so that they're a little bit too tight on the inner shorts. There's a pro and con situation there. And even though it's definitely skimming over the glutes here, I'm not getting that like picking up sensation because this is a sleeker fabric and it wants to fall a little bit more. Not getting a lot of twirling movement when I go around there. I still think it's a cute shape, and for me the length is just a little bit better than some of the other ones. In terms of a slimmer skirt, I actually like this one. It definitely feels a little bit longer compared to the other slimmer skirts we've tried, obviously except for the Athleta one, but that one was like definitely too long. Okay guys, that is everything. I'm sure this video was quite long, so we're gonna wrap it up. In terms of which skirts I liked the most, I think the winner for me for expensive skirts is surprisingly either going to be that Aloe Yoga skirt. I really actually liked that one. That fit me way better than Lululemon or Athleta. Either that or the POPFLEX skirts. Even though those are a little bit short, I wish they were longer. They're definitely cute, fun, and just a little bit more interesting than some of the other skirts. And in terms of the affordable skirts, that CRZ Yoga skirt, again, I must just be into the pleated skirts because those are like 2 of my top picks. Or that Halara cross waist one. I liked that one a lot as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll also link a couple other videos where I have reviewed skirts on this channel before. I'll put those down below with timestamps if you're curious. I have tried a couple Buff Bunny skirts in the past, Athleta skirts, but I think all of those are currently out of stock, so I did not include them in the video. That's the thing about launch-based companies, is that it can be a little bit difficult to include them in big reviews like this. Let me know what other kind of roundup review you would like to see next. I just recently did jumpsuits, we've done dresses, so let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so, and I'll see you next time. Bye!